What's up, people? It's your boy Riley Escobar holding it down for y'all once again. What's good, fam? Thanks for all the support. It's about time I finally got back to y'all on this genre for sure. This is the Just Send It podcast, and we up to episode 24. So whenever the sub pump in the basement stopped going off because it's raining outside, or it was raining outside, we're gonna actually get into the show. So without further ado, fam, hit the intro for me, please. What's good, fam? You alright, man? You chilling, man? Yeah, yo, I'm good, yo. You know, Gucci, out here maintaining, trying to do my thing, yo. Good to know, man. What's good, fam? You good? Yeah, I'm good, yo. Try and flood the streets or whatever. You know how we do, man. We just try, we try to elevate. Briefcase state of mind, So it's been a crazy couple of weeks for sure. And I'm gonna fill y'all into like a lot of this stuff that's been happening. That's probably the main reason why I haven't been able to like do the podcast lately. I already told y'all, I think the last episode, I mentioned about how the house was getting painted. So like I was kicked out of my room. And for your thought, those of y'all who are actually watching the video, you can still see like the walls are empty. So I'm still in the process of like, getting some posters and canvases put up because it's extremely weird to sleep in this space because it's so open. And for years, I slept in the same room with like posters and stuff on the wall. So it really like closing your space and make you feel more like, like those weighted blankets that people wear, to feel like they cuddle on someone. It's kind of feel like that, right? So I got some posters and stuff like that I'm in the process of making some dope anime posters as well. That's gonna go on the wall. So you'll see that soon, and maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month or so when I get the money together to do that. Money been extra short lately just because of like new ventures and just me splurging on some stuff that I just want or just buying stupid stuff like, cool looking pens off of Amazon that cost $8 and switching up my budget, for some reason I decided like, you know what, I'm just gonna do something a lot different with my budget. And like it's been cool. I've been using my Amex card. I love that Amex card. I ain't gonna hold y'all. But the only thing is like I haven't been able to save money. Like I've been trying to build my credit using that card, but haven't been able to save money because I'm using that card. So man, I gotta change up some things. And so that's what I actually did this past weekend. This past weekend I actually sat down. I did kind of like, script out what I was gonna do and say as far as this episode is concerned. But I really sat down, messaged some people that I'm thinking about doing business with, and then just redoing my budget. Cause this is April and like next month is May, and it's gonna be my birthday, 29 years old, and I want to do something kind of like real grandish in a way, or I think I'll be able to do something real grandish in a way. Like a lot of people was kind of already been asking me, what are you doing for your birthday? Your birthday is coming up. What are you doing for your birthday? So it's like, okay, since so many people are asking, maybe they want to do something. So if they want to do something, maybe we could do something as a squad. I can finally achieve my dream of having a 4-man airsoft squad. Hopefully, maybe as many people as I possibly can. Lord knows I got the airsoft guns in the cribbo to do it. I think I got like 3 pistols and like 4 rifles. So I got enough for damn near 2 squads. And if I gotta get one more before now on my birthday, then I'll do that. But that's just something that I always wanted to do. Have a group picture where everybody kind of like suited up in there with that vest on and holding that strap, like we just got out of like a Call of Duty lobby. So that's something that I really want to do next month for my birthday. And hopefully I can get the people and the squad and the stars will just align for me to finally do that. But I digress. Let's actually get into what I was actually going to be talking about this podcast, right? So what's been happening with the bull these past couple of weeks? So first things first, I had like a production opportunity that popped up. Somebody posted like on our my Towson like major page. It's called the EMF cage page, where all the like students and alums post job postings, and like they need cast and crew to help them. Somebody posted on that oh, they needed somebody to help with a potential like TV show idea that they wanted to like record, right? And like for some reason, like any other time, uh the like location or the times won't fit within my schedule, or be somewhere far, like Bowie State, Germantown, somewhere goddamn crazy to get to. But this one was like, oh yeah, we just doing it in the city, downtown, over east somewhere, and we shooting in one location. We're not hopping from like 8 or 9 different locations, not shooting at a lake or shooting in a tunnel. So I was like, okay, cool. You know what? I do sound. I recorded sound on a couple of sets. I can think I would be a good person to kind of record sound for your project. So they was like, okay, cool. We was in communication for a while, and I thought this would be something. I think I mentioned it. I thought this would be something that we would have done like back in like February, beginning of March. But it turned out that we actually did it like at the end of March, and boy, it was actually pretty fun. I gotta say, it's been a long time since I've been on set. The last time I've been on set with like a decent sized crew was like 2019, when somebody called me and was like, yeah, we need somebody to do sound for a day. Raleigh recommended me. Do you think you could come through and do sound for our film? I was like, yeah, sure. Came to school real quick, came up to the university, and I did the sound for a short film called Redress. So it was a cool, serial killer slash drama thing that they did with some Towson alums now. And but this opportunity was kind of different, because it was like, oh, as a sound tech, right? A lot of times the people you're in the room with are visual people, or they are idea people, right? So they either like camera personnel, or they want to adjust the script, they want to adjust the costume. But then when it comes to like the sound design and sound, they have no clue, what to do. So like they really looking at you like, okay, we need you to really like hold down the reins as far as sound is concerned, because we know nothing about that. Like we held a mic or two, or seen a mic or two, but we don't know nothing about recording sound. So it was like, oh, okay. It's always kind of fun doing sound for films. Because like the mic is so sensitive, you pick up everything. You pick up somebody coughing like 3 houses over. And like as a sound tech, you gotta let people know, like, yo, I can hear any and everything that takes place in this room. So like be mindful of that when the camera is actually rolling, because you may think like, oh, I didn't make a sound, but I heard that guy all the way in the back playing Galaga. I heard that, right? And then the even funnier thing is like, in some instances we'll live up, actors. So we'll put like a live mic on them, but it's connected through a transmitter instead of like through an actual like long wired cable. So they can be in the bathroom, they can be like outside, and as long as your mixer is kind of like in the vicinity, which I don't quite really know the range, but the range is actually pretty far, you can hear everything they say, right? And like at times they may say like something, like they can say something bad, they can burp, they can, mumble something under that breath, but it's like they talking dead in your ear as a sound tech. So I always let people know, like, yeah, I'm putting this live on you. So just so you know, I can hear everything that you say loud and clear. So when you mumble under your breath and say like, yo, like this is some bullshit, or these people don't know what the fuck they doing, I can hear all of that, right? Or any plans you thinking about doing, later tonight. I can hear everything that you say. So like, just be mindful that I'm always next to you. So it's always funny how the actors always laugh at that, but I'm dead serious. I'm like, I'm literally like in your head with you. Like, please do not say anything disrespectful. And then a lot of times, like when we're in those situations, I try to like mute the mic or mute those channels on the mixer. So I'm not constantly hearing, what they're mumbling about. And then for this opportunity, right? Because I'm gonna say, yeah, for this opportunity, I had to I actually didn't listen to music for like a day or two. And I listen to music all the times, rap, write bars, but I didn't listen to music for like 2 days. I stayed to myself, stayed in my room, stayed quiet, because like, listening to like, you know, just a bunch of sound from those mics, which is really sensitive, just going to your ears for like 6 to 8 hours during a shoot is very exhausting. Like, it's very exhausting, right? And it's like you don't want to, blow your ears out listening to rap music or whatever, or podcasts or whatever, during the course of like the day. And then when it's time to actually do the shoot, it's like, oh my goodness, I already exhaust myself. So that was actually really cool. I like the opportunity. What was the TV show idea was about, like it was like a guy who got turned into a grim reaper like at a bar during a date, and then at the end of the date, like when he kissed his date, like he actually like gave her the kiss of death and she wound up dying. So it was an interesting premise. I liked it. The actors and the crew was super super duper cool. And hopefully, like when we actually get the opportunity to record the whole show, because we didn't record the whole thing, we just recorded a couple clips. When we record the whole thing, hopefully they'll bring me back to do sound and participate on set. The main actor, he was super duper nice. He was buying everybody shots, food and etc. You need a ride. He was picking people up. He was doing everything in his power to really get this done, and it was super duper dope. And the thing that really hit me, like that really meant the most to me, was his wife. Right, his wife was at the initial like read through of the script when we all met each other, and then she came in the last day, and like she was like, here, like shots for everybody, and like right in the middle of production. And Brad was like, yeah, we in the middle of something, and she was like, come on, let's let the kids have their shots. Like, she was so hospitable and was like really just doing whatever was in her power to kind of like keep us in a good spirit. I was like, dang, like shout out to her. Like, she really been doing her thing. I really greatly appreciate that. And I was like, man, these are some really, really great people to work around. But the other interesting thing is I got a chance to meet like a lot of different like, media production people who are kind of like similar to me, like just looking for opportunity. And one dude was like, he was applying for a bunch of jobs, and the jobs was like, yeah, you're more like a creative type of person, and this is more like we need you to just, not have a brain. And then other places like, bro, you kind of like over qualified for what we need to do, and we're looking for somebody more like this. You're gonna get bored at this job, right? And like he was telling me his ups and downs, how he had to work like 2 production jobs part-time to make enough money till he got like an opportunity to finally work a job that he can work full-time, right? But like he was like, when he was working those 2 part-time things, it gave him enough skill and experience that he was overqualified when he applied for other jobs positions. So he was like, bro, like just keep trying, like you'll get it. And I was like, yeah, I really needed that, bro, because I've been at this shit for 4 years, been trying over and over and over and over again, and like this shit been crazy. So it was super dope. I think I gotta watch this film. I'm gonna try to watch it this weekend. He actually made like a couple films, but he made like a modern day dating short film from a lady's perspective, because he kind of gender twisted it. I think it was called Liz or something. It's supposed to be fire. So I told him I was gonna watch it. I watched the first like 2 minutes of it doing a drive. I'll drive. I gotta watch the rest of it, but that's fire. But the big shout out, right, for the whole production opportunity I was given. Shout out to my friends, my squad. Shout out to SS Pony, who's going to be doing a podcast episode soon whenever he get done with it for the channel. And Ash, y'all already seen Ash before. She was in episode 1 of the podcast, of course, Karama. Shout out to them because they really looked out for the boy during the course of this shoot. Like, they really dropped everything they was doing and like came and got me from the location and took me home, or took me to location. And like, I'm like, yo, I greatly appreciate, all the, help that they helped me. And I let them know, like, yo, y'all really showed up. Man, shout out to y'all. I greatly appreciate y'all. And whatever y'all need from me, yo, just say it. Because I'm not really the type of person to ask for help. But like, when I asked for help this time, they actually showed up. They were reliable. They didn't bail on me, and it was cool with it. They was cool. Like, oh, you know what? I'm 7 minutes away. I'm about to come scoop you. And like they showed up to set or dropped me off at set, they, chilled, didn't like over, compensate, jump in the conversation to just let me work. I greatly appreciate that, man. Shout out to them. So, it's good to have, loyal friends who really value you and will show up. And like the crazy thing is, it's just something that it's just so rare nowadays. Like everybody that I speak to and I talk to, they're like, man, yo, Twan, I don't really got that many friends. So like, it's so difficult to make friends, when you about to jump into your 30s or when you're 30. I'm looking like, dang, like, is that true? Like, how when I got so many friends, I can give some of them away and still have a whole bunch. And I find it hard because I would love to like hang with all of them if I had the time, but sometimes the time don't permit me that, to hang with them. I got, two friends that just got their own apartment. They went from staying with somebody and them brothers got their own apartment now. Shout out to them getting their apartment. I got I got lady friends who on that job, they either working or taking care of their kids. And it's like, oh, that's a person that is really dope. Or they trying to buy a house with that family. So it's like, damn, like, I really want to spend time with y'all, but like, what is the perfect situation, the perfect time to do that? And then I still got family members that, I gotta spend time with my nephews, the homie Kev. I haven't spent time with the homies in forever. Like, damn, but sometimes it's just not enough time in the day when you out here trying to like grind and really be successful. So man, shout out to them for really helping me out. I greatly appreciate everything. And hopefully we can do something for my birthday coming up. Like, hopefully we can do the squad airsoft joint or just invite niggas over to play spades. Cause I gotta teach these people how to play spades. Yo. They don't even know what four and the possible is. They don't know what the board is. They don't know that. They don't know Joker, Joker, Deuce, Deuce. They don't know nothing about the Joker, Joker, Deuce, Deuce. But on to other news, right? What else I was doing? Oh yeah. A friend of mine actually took me to a pop-up shop, right? He was like, yo, Twan, I went to a pop-up shop a couple weeks ago in Hamden, and he was like, they supposed to be having another one. You should, go come along too. So I was like, yeah, of course, Um, people rarely invite me out because people rarely do stuff outside. So like when he was like, yo, you should come to the pop-up shop, I was like, yeah, sure. I got you. Just let me know what the location and time was. Yo, I went to the pop-up shop. It was in this dispensary in Hamden called Elevate. And like, man, like the dispensary was laid out really nice. Like when I say it was clean, it was professional, it was well lit. I'm looking like, damn, like, yo, like that, backwater spot that they sell drugs at. Nah, these dispensaries really got like, identity to them. Identity to them. They got marketing to them. Everything is clean, cut, professional. The people are nice. I'm looking like, man, those people that be saying like, yo, weed is just a criminal thing, and people will do this and do that, and they crime and they petty. Man, I think that's the other drugs. I think with weed is moving more towards a professional sphere. And that's the reason why I was there, because I always love to, talk about grass amongst my friends, even though I'm the only one, give or take the guy who's allergic to weed that don't smoke and never smoke. It was fun. I met a lot of new entrepreneurs at the spot. Like either like recently new entrepreneurs who shifted from like one career to another, or people who like recently opened their own business in like the past 4 years. So I still kind of call that new, right? And I had the chance to really like chop it up with them, ask them like how is business, what are some pitfalls y'all fell into, what is y'all doing very well. and like just practicing my same little podcast conversational skills just out there. And like I got into like long conversations, like 15, 20 minute conversations with a lot of them, like connecting, with them deeply. They put me onto some game of how to better myself, how to help my friends who need help, just learning that journey. It was super duper dope. But shout out to my friend Russ. Like he really looked out, and oh man, I gotta say this. When we was at the spot, right? We was at the pop-up spot. He was like, "Yo, Twan, I'm gonna buy you something to eat." I'm like, "All right, bet." Like, I just wasn't expecting that. Cool. So, like, we went over to the lady. She made some chicken and macaroni and cheese. So she was like, "Yo, hey, how y'all doing? Y'all want what y'all want?" I was like, "Man, give me the works. You want yours infused or not infused?" I said, "Man, I would take mine's regular." I look at my friend. He said, "Yo, you already know what time it is. Like, put the infusion on my stuff." I said, "Hey, they didn't even." And the funny thing is, they didn't even sweat the fact that I just didn't partake in grass or not like that. They ain't look at me weird. They were just like, "Oh, okay, cool." But shout out to him. That the mac and cheese was banging. The chicken was banging, and I wasn't really even expecting that he was going to treat me to something to eat. He just treated me to something to eat. And I gotta say this, right? Uh I do gotta say this. A couple months ago, right, when we was doing the tournament, the Escobar Invitational, we actually went out. So we actually went out to a sushi spot called Access Baltimore, actually with this friend, with my friend Russell. I think that was his birthday weekend. And I treated everybody at the table. I was like, "Yo, don't even worry about it, guys. It's going to be on me. Just the next time, like we probably go out or do something like that. Like, just look at me. Just pay it forward, right?" And then when we went to this pop-up shop, out of nowhere, he was like, "Yo, I got you, yo. I'm gonna buy you something to eat, whatever." And the crazy thing, he was even gonna buy me some grass from the spot because I wanted to purchase something from the shop since I came. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna purchase some grass from the spot and then give it to a family member who participated in that type of stuff. But he was about to buy the grass for me. I was like, "Oh nah, bro, I can't have you do that. You already bought the food for me." But that's super dope. I saying all that to say this, like, yo, life is kind of like a circle, and like when you really put out that positivity out there, you get it back. And I have friends and listeners who, they hear the nice things that I do for people, and they always wonder, like, "Yo, are people taking advantage of you?" And I'm like, "Nah, people don't really be taking advantage of me. Like the people in my squad realize that, I'm a very good person and I'm a good friend. So like, you know, they find other ways to show their appreciation. And this just happened to be one of those ways. So man, shout out to them for sure. And it was weird, right? Because I never bought like any type of drugs before. But for some reason, since I had that grass on me, people was acting crazy. And I'm looking like, "Yo, chill, fam. Like, why y'all wilding on the train, on the bus? Like, I got drugs on me. Like, chill." But it was cool. I enjoyed the experience. And like, I don't know, maybe in like 3, 4 years, I may open a dispensary. Who knows? Like, I just in the interest of making money. I'm not in the interest of getting high. I'm just in the interest of making money. Y'all can keep the hotness. And then I guess the last thing is just new business opportunities and networking. That's just the things that I've been dealing with these past, like, you know, would have been like 2 weeks. Um, I got invited to a business opportunity by the homie Maurice Valentino. Shout out to Val, man, because Val be doing this thing. Val and Valentino's workshop with the little woodies, teaching them, tutoring. This boy, this guy's hold it down. This guy's the GOAT. Like the dude Val is really probably the GOAT when it comes to like this tutoring entrepreneur type of stuff, man. He out here tutoring kids in like math and English and science, but then at time he using like video games like what he was using. He was using Animal Crossing and Pokemon and Smash Brothers as tools to teach these kids. And like I gotta say this, Val, he gets to the bag or he gets you the opportunity. He do not slack off. We was at a tournament that a Tekken tournament that he was co-hosting, right? And he was like, all right, fam. It was like 7, 8 o'clock at night. He was like, all right, fam, I got a tutoring call with one of my, children. I get up with y'all. So I'm looking at him like, okay, his music blasting. He goes all the way in the back, far corner of the bar area, like pulls out his laptop and he's having a tutoring function like call like with a child of his. And I'm looking like, yo, bro, really like brought his laptop and he working while he's working a function. And I said, yo, that's super duper dope. Like, I'm looking like he really doing his thing. So like when it came to him like inviting me to be a part of this business opportunity, I was like, dang, like I appreciate that because I wasn't used to that. But the one thing that I like the most is the fact that like people finally I guess people finally taking heed to my business mindedness. You feel me? Like I always been a person that was always about his business for sure. Like all through high school, all through middle school and high school, I sold snacks, cupcakes, brownies, or whatever. And I was like, you know what? All I gotta do is like I can make decent money if I sell it cheaper than the store prices. I can make decent money if I walk the halls and go to the gym and get my product off, my chips off, my sodas off, talk to everybody, communicate with everybody. So I always can been kind of business minded from my high school days. But then when I graduated from high school, of course I went to college and I learned, about food. I learned about business administration. When it comes to like starting your own business. No, the gen ed stuff that you learn while you take your studies. But in addition to that, like I found myself in a lot of workshops, foster care workshops, in Eastern Shore and in Baltimore, foster care internships in like DC, right? And then just watching a bunch of like how-to videos, how to start a business, how to market stuff, how to do this, how to do that. There's always being a sponge and how other people ran that business. I learned a lot about how other people ran that business in good ways and also bad ways. So it is, all kind of cultivated into me being like business mindedness, like having this business mindedness, like understanding what was good business, what's bad business, learning about incentives, right? I kind of see things more like, and I be telling my boss this, I'll be trying to tell my boss this, see things more from like a salary employee point of view more than a hourly, employee point of view. So like now that they brought me in and was like, oh yeah, we want you to be a part of this business, this is kind of gonna be your role, or you're gonna be an advisor, and like the stuff you say, we want to take heed to. It's like, dang, okay, people finally noticing me, for what I'm pretty good at, right? So, let's talk wild crazy. This is a good strategy to use. These are some points that y'all want to do. This is kind of how y'all want to flow. You want to get people emotionally invested. You want to wow people. Like this is stuff that I learned on my studies, but this is stuff that I just learned by like being around people, right? And it was super duper dope. So shout out to him for the business opportunity. Um, I was talking to actually a family member 2 days ago, um, and we was talking about me working a 9 to 5 or a 6:30 to 3, right? Because that's what I got. And she was like, "Yeah, you're not really cut out for working 9 to 5, especially at corporate places. Like, why are you keep doing this? You more like an entrepreneur at heart, and you know that." And I was like, "Yeah, that is true." And it just it's always been something that's been on my mind, but as of lately, it's just really, 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 really been on my mind. Like, yo, this 9 to 5 shit is just really isn't for me. The money isn't as fast as it could be. You don't really get time off like that, or the time off accrues so slowly. Like, dang, like your schedule is not really flexible. And then like you're at the mercy of whoever is, your boss or your director or your manager or your supervisor. Like, dang, which is, why I always think about like, what would be nice if I started like my own like mob family or cartel where I'm like the boss of bosses, and then I got a lot of soldiers underneath of me, right? And I'm the person that dictate how we move and put people in place. I always think about that. I know the homies, they're gonna get on my case about that because they always be like, yo, Twan, you always, trying to sell drugs or something like that. You the only educated brother I know who tried to sell drugs and try to do the street route. Or they were like, Twan, if you ever actually took it seriously and went to the streets, bro, you probably gonna be like Ace Boogie. Like you probably gonna make a lot of money and like somebody gonna wind up clapping you. And I was like, dang, bro, that's how you feel. He was like, yo, cause you so smart and so witty, and you know how like the game works, and you know how business work and how people work. Like, yo, you're gonna be extremely successful, but you're gonna be very dangerous as well. And I'm like, man, yo, I wish it was a way. Like, I really do. I wish it was a way to like be able to start my own business, right? Right? Or business idea. But that's the thing. Like everybody got these bomb ass ideas of like a business that they want to start, right? And I just don't have the bomb ass ideas. And then on top of that, like starting a business requires a lot of work. And don't get me wrong at the fact that like, oh, I don't want to work hard because I don't have problem working hard. But it's like, man, like it gotta be an easier way to make money, but also have a business. And like maybe like buying into a business already established that I can get return on investments, or like invest in other people, they make money and I get a kickback to it. You feel me? Like stuff like that. Instead of actually doing all the groundwork, like, okay, I gotta, figure out the name. I gotta get it incorporated. Okay. I gotta set up go to the bank and set up a business account for my business. I gotta find clientele, you know, or customers who I'm gonna be working with. I gotta constantly work with them. I gotta go there and take my camera with me, or take my cater the event and run the event and like all that stuff. That's all the busy work, and it keeps you self-employed, but you don't make money unless you actually are actively working. Instead of like people on the other side of that spear who they put that money in, and like they chill, they put that money in, they chill, and they get kickbacks every month or every 2 weeks or whenever the deal closed. So it's just crazy, man. It just really is. And for me, the easiest way I was like, yo, the easiest way people to make money, and is then a short thing, is to essentially sell drugs. Like you don't really hear drugs going bad. Like people who make money, who sell drugs, they make money. Consistent money, good money. The only bad thing is they face jail time, or people, run off on them, or they get killed. Like that stuff. So it got like extreme downsides, but it got extreme upsides to it as well. And I'm too smart to like realize like, damn, bro, like if I take this route, man, I'm even gonna be dead in jail. So I bet off just trying to figure out another way of making money. But man, that's it. This is episode 24 of the Just Send It podcast. And this episode is going to be called, I guess, it's going to be called Solar Recharge, because that's just one thing that the bull is in dire need of, is just a recharge. And my recharge is actually coming up because I should be, in the next couple of weeks, I should be taking a trip to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, with the fam. So while I'm down there, I probably walk on the beach with my Jordans again, like I did last time, chill, work on the computer, think about buying a dirt bike, or, copping a coupe, of course. Uh, and just coming up with new ideas, especially talking to people on the trip. And of course, copping more NFL sports hats, because, I love to do that while I'm on vacation. But other than that, people, it's your boy Riley Escobar, and y'all was listening to the Just Send It podcast. This was episode 24, and I'm out.